worshipers today have followed tradition handed down by previous generations. They believe and were taught that Sunday is the proper day of worship, that the Savior changed the day of worship from the Jewish Sabbath to Sunday.
No, it didn't, because
The
Pope
adoption
Francis
of Sunday as the
changed
Christian
it.
Sabbath has little to do with the Bible and everything to do with Constantine the Great over 300 years after the Messiah's death.
The Pope changed
Constantine
the
was
Sabbath
emperor of the
day.
Roman
He had no
Empire from
authority to
306
do that.
to 337 CE. He was a sun worshiper who on his deathbed converted to Christianity.
I'm going to
321
Italy,
CE, while still a sun
but I will
worshiper,
not go near
Constantine
the
established
Vatican.
Sunday as the day of worship. He decreed,
No.
On the venerable day of the sun, let the magistrates and people residing in cities rest, and let all workshops be closed.
in this coin circulated by Constantine in 317 CE,
One world
you
religion.
see the face of Constantine on one side, and on the other the figure of Sol Invictus, the unconquered sun. The sun god was also known as Mithras, and his birth was on December 25th. This date was adopted as the birth of Christ and became the date for Christmas many centuries later. Clearly, Constantine was an avid worshiper of the sun god Sol Invictus. Amazingly, Martin Luther, the champion of the modern-day Protestant movement, said,
They allege that the Sabbath changed into Sunday, the Lord's Day, contrary to the Decalogue as it appears. Neither is there any example more boasted of than the changing of the Sabbath day. Great, say they, is the power and authority of the Church, since it dispensed with one of the Ten Commandments.
Nowhere in the Bible do we see that Yahshua and his apostles changed the day of worship from Saturday to Sunday. In fact, the Messiah in his Sermon on the Mount has this end-time prophecy. Pray that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day.
Okay, so being a trader can really suck at times, especially if you're losing a lot of money or...
Those who were tainted with polytheism of Rome looked as if they had converted, but in actuality it wasn't easy for them to get rid of the religious rites and institutions of worshiping the sun, the moon, and the stars, and various gods and goddesses, which they had worshipped since their forefathers. The Church in Rome sought for solutions to disburden the pagans when they converted to Christianity. It was to bring in things similar to the gods that the pagans had believed into the church. They thought they would increase the number of pagan converts by doing that. For the Christian bishops introduced, with but slight alterations into the Christian worship, those rites and institutions by which formerly the Greeks and Romans and others had manifested their piety and reverence towards their imaginary deities, supposing that the people would more readily embrace Christianity if they perceived the rites handed down to them from their fathers still existing unchanged among the Christians. To attract more pagans, the Church in Rome tried to Christianize various kinds of pagan gods to suit the Bible. One of the most representative things among them was accepting pagan customs of the sun god worship tradition. The Church in Rome identified Jesus with the sun god.
Pope Francis been just
Inside
exposed.
of the church was decorated with various kinds of sun images.
He is the false
and the idea
prophet.
to worship the sun was
Pope
established
Francis.
as if it were the truth of the church.
In the last days, there will be a very convincing counterfeit of God's real church that compromises the truth of Scripture. Jesus warns it will nearly deceive the whole world.